Yo, what's going on, guys? And today I wanted to talk about who will the Detroit Pistons be drafting in the second round, guys. Oh my God, they're getting Cade Cunningham unless they trade it to the Rockets and then they're drafting Jalen Green. But let's just get right into today's video, guys. And I want to hear your opinions down below. Who would you draft if you were the Detroit Pistons? And these are the picks the Pistons have: the 37th, which is the seventh pick in the second round, the 42nd, the 12th pick in the second round, and the 52nd, which is the 22nd pick in the second round. So, with those picks, I think this is a great time to talk about who will they be drafting in this year's draft. I think first off, they'll be going into this needing some depth in certain positions. If you guys don't know what the Pistons team is looking like this coming season, the players that are entering free agency are Dennis Smith Jr., Wayne Ellington, Diallo, Saban Lee, and Frank Jackson. I really think Saban Lee and Frank Jackson might be picked up by other teams. Dennis Smith Jr. they're not bringing back. Wayne Ellington they'd like to bring back, but he might leave. Diallo's another guy they'd like to bring back, but he might leave. So it's a lot of guard, and they have depth at the wing position with Dumboya, Jackson, Bay, and Bay's more can play a swingman position. And Rodney McGruder's somebody they can get rid of that they could. He's another swingman. So they could go. I think what they need is another swingman or forward and another combo guard or swingman, which a swingman is a shooting guard, small forward. So when I look at this, I think obviously you'd love Quinn Grimes to be there, but he seems like he's going to be drafted in the first round. Now, they could take a gamble with Brandon Boston Jr. and hope that the limitations we saw in Kentucky were just because of John Capillari. A little risky, but Herb Jones, in his 4 years at Alabama, he slowly became a decent shooter, and he's heading in the right direction. Still not amazing or a 40%, but it's good. He's the guy who grabbed almost 7 rebounds a game and 10 points a game almost, and he literally can guard every single position, 1 through 5. He's that good, and that's somebody the Pistons would love. Now, with their next pick, they could go Dacian Nix, a G League guy that maybe they think, hey, we'll work on him, and then we'll have Kelly Hayes, Cade Cunningham, or Jalen Green, whoever they draft. And Dacian Nix could be their backup point guard in the future. And he could go higher, but, a lot of board time going in the second round. Same thing with Greg Brown, the third from Texas. He's one of the most explosive athletically in this year's draft. And if it wasn't for really his terrible stats, I think not terrible stats, but like his shot looked bad and his decision making. He's generally an elite explosive athlete, and he can fly through the sky as a dunker or a weak side shot blocker, and he's shown flashes as a shooter. The right team can develop his game, and he could be an upside starter or a useful rotation player. But he seems like he could be follow the vein of John Collins, Blake Griffin, and the Morris twins. That as a guy who has the athleticism to get his shot and get stronger and post up or defend the post up, or do a lot of things that I feel like teams take for granted from players. There's a lot of options here. I really think the best options are Herb Jones, my boy. I really think Aaron Henry would be great. Aaron Henry is a swingman, and he would be fantastic for him. He'd be a little bit different than what they normally get, but there's a lot. What I love about the second round is there's a lot of room for just swings, and no one's gonna be like, oh, why'd you do that? People are always gonna understand that, hey, we swang for the fences, didn't work, but at least we try to get somebody. And that's why I think if Joshua Primo is there, he is perfect. Joshua Primo might go into the first round, but right now he looks like a guy who's going to go in the second round just because we don't know what he was doing. And he's a bit of a project. And the Pistons rarely look to draft guys who are going to contribute now. So he's 6'5" with a 6'9" wingspan, and he'll probably be able to shoot at the NBA level. And he's not much of a playmaker, so unlocking that part of the game when players close in on him will be a big part of his development, and also figuring out if he can defend in the NBA. Mostly, he just needs to do some defensive, physical maturing before we can even answer those questions. Okay, Joshua Primo would be perfect if they could snag him with the 37th pick. That's who I would go. Then with the second round pick, I would go 42nd. I would go Herb Jones. Joshua Primo, if you guys want to hear his stats this past year, he averaged, let me look at this, 8.1 points, 3.5 rebounds, under 1 assist a game, a little over half a steal a game, and 0.2 blocks per game on 38.1% three-point shooting and 43.1% from the field. Not bad. He played 22.5 minutes, so really pedestrian numbers. While Herb Jones, yes, he had some pedestrian numbers, but he just kept improving and improving. I don't even think they're pedestrian, okay? I think they're really good. Listen to this. 1.7 steals a game with 1.1 blocks per game. Okay? Listen to that. And then the year before that, 1.3 blocks. And in his sophomore year, 1 block. In his freshman year, 1.3 blocks. And basically every single year he improved. I'm not block, steals. I don't know. So he literally had 1.3 his freshman, 1 steal his sophomore, 1.3 his junior, and 1.7 steals his senior year. And then 1.1 blocks his senior year, 0.6 in his freshman and sophomore year, and 0.7 in his junior year. Guy improving every year. In back-to-back years where he had about 6.5 rebounds per game, basically 7 rebounds a game. Yeah. This year he shot 71.3% from the free throw line and 35.1% from 3. Developing shot. And he's always been over 40% from the field goal in the past 2 years, at least 45%. So showing that he can hit those shots, and he's just perfect for the Pistons. Now, the last guy I think that would really suit them is Jason Preston. I really like Jason Preston. He's a guy that I think Jason Preston would be such a steal for whoever gets him. He's great. He's got a great feel for the game in the backcourt, rebounds really well, and he could start out in the G League and slowly become a guy that we unexpectedly see become a really good player. So if you want to hear stats, he spent the past 2 years being the main scorer for Ohio University. The Ohio, not the Ohio State, the Ohio. So he averaged 15.7 points per game, 7.3 rebounds, 7.3 assists on 51.4% shooting from the field and 39% from 3. And the year before, he was a 41% three-point shooter, exact same field goal percentage, with literally plays the past 2 years about 36 minutes a game. Basically, the past 2 years, he's averaged over 7 rebounds a game, over 7 assists a game, half a block a game, and 1.5 steals a game, with about 17 points the past 2 years. He's a cat who could be really good. Really freaking good. So, yeah, let me hear your thoughts down below. Who do you think the Pistons are drafting?